Hello friends, welcome back to the Page Turner's Book Cafe. Today we're diving into a game-changing book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book reveals how the tiniest habits can have the biggest impact on your life. But let's be honest, how many of us have tried to build good habits only to let them slip away with one small mistake? Why does that happen? We often believe that only massive effort leads to success, but that's not entirely true. Atomic Habits teaches us that small, consistent actions can create powerful, lasting change. The word atomic doesn't just refer to something tiny, it also represents explosive, unlimited potential. Think of habits as these little atoms of change that can fuel massive transformations over time. So who should stick around for this video? If you're someone who dreams of success but doesn't know where to start, if you're struggling to kick bad habits or build new positive ones, or if you're just curious about how your habits shape your future, this is the book for you. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on the amazing insights we share. So settle in for an in-depth breakdown of atomic habits that could change the way you approach life. Part 1. The Power of Atomic Habits. The foundation of atomic habits is the idea that small, consistent actions lead to significant long-term results. James Clear uses the term atomic to describe these small habits, tiny routines that, when repeated, compound into massive changes over time. The 1% rule. Clear introduces the idea of improving by just 1% each day. It might sound like a small, almost insignificant improvement, but the impact compounds over time. After a year of daily 1% improvements, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. This concept is the backbone of atomic habits. It's not about making drastic changes or setting huge goals. It's about the small daily choices that seem almost insignificant at the moment, but build up to massive results. The plateau of latent potential. We often give up on habits because we don't see immediate results, but Clear explains that progress is often hidden. He compares it to an ice cube melting. Just because you can't see change happening doesn't mean it's not happening. When you stick to your habits, the results will eventually break through, even if they're invisible at first. Part 2. The 4 Laws of Behavior Change. In the second section of Atomic Habits, James Clear introduces what he calls the 4 Laws of Behavior Change. These laws form the backbone of the habit loop. Understanding these laws will help you build good habits and break bad ones. Let's break it down. Law 1. Make it obvious. The first law is all about clarity. If you want to build a habit, you need to make the cue obvious. A lot of people fail at forming habits because they rely on vague goals like, I want to get in shape. Clear suggests you turn that into something concrete like, I will go to the gym every day at 6 a.m. Pro tip: stack a new habit onto an existing one to make it more obvious. For example, if you already brush your teeth every morning, make that the trigger for doing a quick workout right after. Law 2. Make it attractive. The second law focuses on making your habits appealing. If you enjoy the process, you're more likely to stick with it. Clear suggests using a strategy called temptation bundling to make a habit more attractive. For instance, if you love watching Netflix but struggle to get on the treadmill, try only watching your favorite show while you're working out. This way, you pair a habit you need to build with something you already love doing. Law 3. Make it easy. The third law is simple. Make the habit as easy as possible to start. Clear emphasizes the 2-minute rule, which suggests breaking down your new habit into something that can be done in 2 minutes or less. If your goal is to read more, start by reading just 1 page per day. Why? Because once you start, it's easier to keep going. The key is to lower the barrier so it's almost impossible to say no. Law 4. Make it satisfying. The final law deals with rewards. Our brains are wired to repeat actions that feel rewarding. When you complete a habit, find a way to give yourself a little reward to make it satisfying. This can be as simple as checking off a box on your to-do list or treating yourself to something small when you've hit a milestone. By understanding these 4 laws, you can make positive habits stick and eliminate the bad ones that are holding you back. Stay tuned for the next section, where we'll dive into the concept of identity-based habits and how to transform your self-image to reinforce the changes you want to see in your life. Part 3. Identity-based habits. One of the most powerful insights in Atomic Habits is the idea of identity-based habits. This section explains why focusing on who you want to become rather than what you want to achieve is the key to long-term success. The power of identity. Most people set goals based on outcomes. For example, you might say, I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want to run a marathon. But Clear argues that these types of outcome-based goals often fail because they don't align with your identity. Instead, he suggests you focus on becoming the type of person who achieves those goals. So instead of saying, I want to lose weight, say, I'm the kind of person who eats healthy and stays active. When you focus on your identity, every small habit becomes a vote for the person you want to be. Over time, these votes add up and create a lasting change in how you see yourself. The 2-step process. Clear's method for identity change is simple but profound. It involves just 2 steps. Decide the type of person you want to be. This could be anything from, I want to be someone who wakes up early, to, I want to be a creative thinker. Prove it to yourself with small wins. Start by taking small, consistent actions that align with that identity. Want to be a runner? Lace up your shoes and run for just 5 minutes every day. Want to be a reader? Read 1 page of a book every night. As you accumulate small wins, your identity begins to shift. Eventually, these habits reinforce the belief that you are the type of person who does these things. The power of self-talk. The way you talk to yourself also plays a big role in identity change. Instead of saying, I have to go to the gym, try saying, I'm someone who works out regularly. This small shift in self-talk helps align your habits with the person you're becoming, making it easier to stay motivated. The identity loop. Once your identity starts to shift, your habits reinforce it, creating a positive feedback loop. You become more motivated to stick with your new behaviors because they align with who you believe yourself to be. This is why identity-based habits are so powerful. They're rooted in your sense of self, which is much harder to break than just a simple goal. By focusing on becoming the person who naturally lives the life you want, you create habits that are sustainable and fulfilling. Next, we'll discuss how environment design plays a critical role in shaping your habits and making it easier to live out your new identity. Part 4. Environment design. Setting yourself up for success. In Atomic Habits, James Clear emphasizes that your environment has a huge impact on your behavior. Often, it's not about having more willpower. It's about creating a space that encourages the right habits. This section covers how to design your environment to make your good habits easier and your bad habits harder. Make it obvious. One of the most effective ways to build a habit is to make the cues for that habit visible. Clear gives the example of putting a bowl of fruit on the counter instead of hiding it in the fridge if you're trying to eat healthier. Out of sight, out of mind, so make the healthy choices the easiest ones to see. Another example. If you want to read more, put a book on your pillow so it's the first thing you see before bed. The clearer the cue, the easier it will be to follow through. Make it easy. Your environment can also help make your habits easier to do by removing friction. This might mean laying out your workout clothes the night before or setting up your workspace so you can start a project without needing to tidy up first. The less effort required to start a habit, the more likely you are to do it. Clear even suggests making small changes like rearranging your kitchen to put healthy foods at eye level or organizing your living room to make your TV remote less accessible if you're trying to watch less TV. These small tweaks in your environment can make a big difference over time. Make it satisfying. The human brain is wired to repeat behaviors that feel good, so Clear suggests designing your environment to make new habits satisfying. One method he recommends is using a habit tracker, a simple visual tool to record your progress. Each day you complete a habit, you mark it down on a chart. Seeing your streak grow is a powerful motivator to keep going. You can also use rewards to create a sense of satisfaction. For instance, if you're trying to save money, you might reward yourself after a month of sticking to your budget by treating yourself to a small indulgence that doesn't derail your progress. Make it hard for bad habits. Just as you can design your environment to make good habits easier, you can also design it to make bad habits harder. Want to stop checking social media so much? Delete the apps from your phone. Want to eat less junk food? Don't keep it in the house. By creating barriers between yourself and your bad habits, you reduce the likelihood of falling into old patterns. Part 5. The 4 stages of habit formation. Clear breaks down habit formation into 4 key stages: cue, craving, response, and reward. Understanding these stages can help you build better habits and break bad ones. 1. Cue. The cue is what triggers your brain to initiate a behavior. It could be something like waking up in the morning, getting a notification on your phone, or walking into the kitchen. By controlling your cues, you can control the habits that follow. 2. Craving. The craving is the desire to act. Without craving, there's no reason to act. For example, if your cue is walking into the kitchen and seeing a bag of chips, your craving might be to eat something salty. 3. Response. The response is the action you take, whether it's grabbing a snack, picking up your phone, or heading to the gym. Making your desired response easy and your undesired response hard is the key to habit change. 4. Reward. The reward is the benefit you get from the action which reinforces the behavior. For example, the reward for exercising might be the endorphin rush, while the reward for eating chips might be the satisfying crunch. The more satisfying the reward, the more likely you are to repeat the behavior. By understanding and adjusting these 4 stages, you can create habits that stick and eliminate the ones that don't serve you. Part 6. The plateau of latent potential, which explains why habits often feel ineffective in the short term. When you start a new habit, it may take time before you see results. This can be discouraging, but Clear urges readers to stay patient and consistent. It's like ice melting. At 31 degrees Fahrenheit, the ice is still solid, but at 32 degrees, it suddenly starts to melt. The same principle applies to habits. You might not see progress right away, but over time, your efforts will compound and the results will come. The key is to push through the plateau and trust that your habits are working even when you can't see immediate changes. Part 7. The power of small wins. Clear ends Atomic Habits with a powerful reminder. Success is the result of small wins accumulated over time. It's not about massive, life-changing transformations. It's about making 1% improvements every day. If you can improve by just 1% each day, those small gains will add up, leading to exponential growth over time. It's the compound interest of self-improvement. By focusing on small, consistent actions, you can create lasting habits that lead to remarkable results. Remember, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. They may seem small at the moment, but over time, they make all the difference. Conclusion. The journey continues. To wrap up, Atomic Habits teaches us that the key to success isn't setting huge, overwhelming goals. It's building small, sustainable habits that align with your identity. By focusing on 1% improvements, optimizing your environment, and understanding how habits work, you can unlock the full potential of compounding habits in your life. Remember, the most effective way to change your life is to focus on who you want to become, not just what you want to achieve. With consistent effort and small wins, you'll be amazed at how much progress you can make over time. And that's a wrap on the book summary for Atomic Habits. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave a comment below on what habit you're trying to build next.